Hey guys, good afternoon. This is Tom Kuhn, and I am at the beach even as we speak. But I do want to stay on target with my relativity certification. So today I am going to present the workflow and navigation sections of the demo. Let's jump out of the native file viewer and review browsing, hit some workflow, then we'll dig into searching. We offer a few different ways to browse through records in Relativity with what we call folders, the field tree, advanced and safe searches. We can also browse by clusters, which is a part of the Relativity Analytics feature set. I'm going to start here with case folders. These are a little different than what you might be used to in other applications. It's not a metaphor for the tagging and coding structure. Instead, it's actually the physical location of the records in the system. It could be your Outlook or Windows Explorer, a metaphor very familiar to people. We have a few high-level folders that we've set up. The padlock here indicates that these are securable, so I can secure these folders. I have one here for file servers, organized by city and share. As well, I have one for custodians. And let's look at this custodian named John Arnold. Perhaps we have some loose files. These are files laying around his desk. For email, we have actually preserved the original mailbox structure of John Arnold's Outlook or Lotus Notes, whichever he was using. So off his mailbox structure here, let's say he was involved in a compact matter. I can come in and click on that, and I can see exactly what he was storing in there. This provides me with a very intuitive way to browse through records. And in terms of how we set this up, Relativity can map to any piece of metadata and load file. In this case, we map to the file path information. We had the file path automatically recreated based on that. Another popular way our clients are using this, maybe this was an original paper-based collection, and these documents were coded on the box level. So maybe we want to recreate the box structure. Other than that, we can simply right-click and create the folder structure as we see fit. And so that's case folders. The field tree is actually a metaphor for our tagging and coding structure. In that way, it's also very intuitive. For instance, maybe I want to see something that's been included in somebody's deposition kit. Let's look at Elliot's. And it looks like there's 5 records in Elliot's Depo kit. Perhaps I want to instead look at something that's been tagged as privileged so far. And it looks like we have And it looks like we have 58 records tagged as privileged. So these documents are tagged in the system. The next time I click on this, they're going to be instantly returned. That's the field tree. Now I'm going to hide the browser. And this will give us some full screen real estate. So I talk about workflow and touch on reporting. So we're looking at a little over 74,000 documents in this whole database, the Enron database. While the 74,000 documents we have here is certainly a healthy sized database, the largest case in Relativity has over 93 million records, with hundreds of users in that database, single database. They're tiffing, redacting, tweaking out layouts of workflows, doing all sorts of searching, and it is still a very responsive system. This drop down up here controls what we call views in Relativity. Views are canned queries that control workflow and a bit of reporting in general. But 3 things specifically. Views control the columns across the top. They control the actual criteria we're using to pull back our records and our default sort order. In this example right here, we're showing the responsiveness and issues fields. But if a first pass reviewer came through, we might want to lock them down to my unreviewed documents. The responsiveness field will be the only one available to them. We might even automate some workflow so that as those records are coded and tagged as responsive, they would automatically flow into second-tier review. A couple other things we can do with views is this. I have one called responsive documents. It looks like we have 825 in the system right now. I can use this drop-down to find duplicates and family documents, even if they were not responsive to the query that we set up. So let's say I included duplicates, and that number jumps to 1,426. Maybe I want to normalize these documents. So what I'm going to do is simply click on the responsiveness field, and just to sort the uncoded documents to the top, I can see documents or records that have been tagged inconsistently or not at all. These are exact duplicates of responsive documents, so perhaps I want to normalize them with a mass action. Maybe these are records that I want to create a mass TIFF of. Perhaps I want to do summing, tallying, averaging, or perhaps I want to export them. Each of these are individually securable. So you can grant rights to one, none, all, or any combination that makes sense to the reviewers and in the case. In this case, let's just say we want to edit these. I come in, I would go ahead and tag these documents, and I would go ahead and tag them as responsive and simply hit save. But in this case, I'm going to cancel out. And I'm going to show you something else we get asked often, which is how do I pull a privilege log out of Relativity? In our case, it's just a matter of setting up another view. So we have the documents that have been tagged with privilege field and agreed upon to report. And let's say we want to take a mass action here. Perhaps we want to for all the documents, and there's 123 here that are marked privilege, and not including duplicates. That takes us back to that original 50 documents, and let's say we want to go ahead and export them. We can do that very easily here, and as you'll see, forgive me on that, I gotta check those, there we go, and then simply click go. And as you can see, I can export these to Excel, CSV, or a DAT file, and we can also keep them Unicode compliant. I simply hit run, and then I will have a privilege log ready to go, and I can save it and manipulate it from there. So that is views inside of Relativity. The end. End of my demo, and I'm about to shut this thing off, which will take just a second. But thanks everybody, and I appreciate you guys watching. See ya. Take care.